Welcome to my Safe Gayven, everybody. Thank you guys for clicking on another video here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. If this is your first time checking me out, hey, how's it going? My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek. I always say the things that I love to talk about on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the force. I like to talk superheroes, action movies, comic books, video games, horror movies, fantasy, and sci-fi. And of course, by my name, if you couldn't tell, I like to talk about Black representation and queer representation, or the lack thereof. So if that's something that you're interested in, please hit that like button. As you can see on the camera, we have a special guest here joining us on the channel. If you are fans of the channel, you already know who this is. It's hard getting her on the channel. She already said, I got you for 15 minutes. We got to go.
He didn't say that he's 45 minutes late.
Don't throw me out there.
Yeah, you tried to throw me 45 minutes late, the ghetto.
So, but yeah, so we got Fantastic Frankie over here. So Frankie, introduce yourself for the people if this is their first time seeing you.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? My name is Fantastic Frankie, the fanboy fighter. Very excited to be here, talk about some stuff. Yeah, I am a nerd commentator, media personality. I talk about anime, comics, sci-fi, fantasy, anything nerdy. Also, I should have worn this. I'm officially part of the Safe Gayven. Yeah,
look at that.
Blood, sex, gore, and magic. I talk about that as well. But I love to debate things like that. And I'm technically on tour right now, going to every con I can during the summer.
She's a worldwide woman at this point. WWW. Shout out to that Beyonce song.
Thank you.
But yeah, with that said, as you can see, Frankie got my merch, blood, sex, gore, magic. I got welcome to my Safe Gayven, the Black Gay Comic Geek logo. I'm coming out with something else pretty soon, because you know how I say, for the all gay rhythm, that's going to be put on the shirt as well. Frankie got merch, so support your favorite content creators and purchase our merch. Links will be in the description box below. With that said, we are going to be talking, if you couldn't tell from the title, this is a non-spoiler review for Thor Love and Thunder. If you guys follow us on Instagram, which if you're not follow us on Instagram, you will see that Frankie and I actually went to the red carpet premiere. What was it, like 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks. I can't believe they gave us that premiere so early. But we went again yesterday, and I was glad because I forgot half that movie.
Yeah,
I didn't take notes.
Same. And then there were things that I noticed that I didn't notice the first time, because I'm hyped about the premiere, and then people screaming, and they weren't really screaming in the theater yesterday.
Yeah. People were watching. It was funnier, honestly, to me, the second time.
Yeah, no, I agree. So yeah, with that said, we're gonna jump into this non-spoiler review. So Frankie, what did you initial thoughts? What did you think about Thor? I guess both the first time and the second time, or did anything change?
Yeah, I think my feelings stayed the same. It was definitely the funniest Marvel movie I've seen, like top to bottom. It's hilarious. I think that the tone. I think that Christian Bale, who did an incredible job, was the wrong villain and actor to be in that movie, because the tone is very light and airy, and the villain is so high stakes, and it didn't match. But all in all, I very much enjoyed it as like its own thing. Like it's its own thing, nothing else. It's not going to impact the MCU. It's just a project with a character that we like, and I thought it was a great ode to Jane Foster and her character as well.
Yeah, I would definitely say, like, out of all the Phase 4 movies, Spider-Man No Way Home is my favorite, but Thor Love and Thunder is definitely my second favorite of Phase 4, and it's my favorite MCU movie of this year, because we had Doctor Strange, and then or not even just the movie, but all of the properties that have come out for the MCU this year, including the shows. I would say Thor Love and Thunder is my favorite thing to come out of the MCU this year. This movie definitely was fun. I would say it's the funniest of the Thor movies. I would say even more so than Ragnarok. But I think the great thing about this movie is they also live in the emotion. Like, they don't undercut the emotion, unlike something like Thor Ragnarok. It's like, oh, my whole planet is destroyed, I'm depressed, all right, let's throw in a joke. They don't really do that in this movie. Like, they do live in the emotion and the trauma that Thor, you gotta stand Storm up.
I'm sorry, my black queen. I saw her in the back. I was like, no.
Yeah, any of the white ones could be falling over, but not Storm.
Nice.
Like, yeah,
Not the blacks. You see, I
yeah,
got them
no.
so they're always in frame now. I put the blacks down here.
I mean, if you look
But
at my superhero show, all the black superheroes are up front. So
I
like,
love that shelf. I gotta redo mine actually.
I need to
I'm
get
gonna rearrange all this.
I need to
stuff.
get another one because like I got more like we're gonna talk. Oh, but like
Oh yeah, I got some art from the comic conventions. I gotta
yeah,
put up
I
too.
got like my Riri Williams over there. Like I got Stranger Things stuff. But anyway, yeah, but but like I don't remember what I was saying. But yeah,
You
they lived, they like settled in the emotion. They didn't undercut it. So like you got to feel the trauma of seeing Thor and the loss that he's gone through and everything like that. And then like the relationship between him and Jane, what have they been up to? The connection between that, like sometimes running into an old ex. So like I that's something I really appreciated
absolutely.
with this movie. And yeah, so it was I didn't cry, but they did make the movie emotional. They did get emotional. So I like that.
Yeah, I think too, it was meant to be more emotional, but the tone kind of combated that. So like even with like Christian Bale's character, I think it was rooted in a lot of emotion, but I couldn't feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't get into it. I will say that. And that was my biggest critique. I really hoped that Christian Bale's character would be more. Can I say that? Is that a spoiler?
More in the movie.
No, not in the movie, just developed. Like I wish I cared about him and his story more. Because I think it could have been done a little bit better.
Yeah, no, I don't think I don't think it's a spoiler to say. Just
Yeah.
not just yeah, because it's very vague. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I agree with that. I wish they did develop, and that's a thing that they do with like even since Phase 4. What has been the common criticism with Marvel movies? I wish they developed the villain more.
I mean, that's not just Phase 4. I can
No,
count
I
on
was
my
saying so
hand.
going back to Phase 1. I'm saying that's been the
Yeah.
common criticism of Marvel movies, like developing the villain more. And it's the same thing with this movie. Like you would think 4 phases in, they were finally like, okay, let's spend a little bit more, especially considering like the reaction that we got to like somebody like a Thanos or a Killmonger or Loki. Like you would think they would want to spend a little bit more time on the villains. Cause like this movie was only not even, I don't even think it hit 2 hours. I think it was like 159. Like they could have added another 20-30 minutes in this movie and dedicated it to gore.
I don't know. I think that's another thing too. Like I miss those 90-minute bangers. I think a movie could be good in 90 minutes. But I think with comic books and like because we're comic book readers, we're used to seeing villains for a very long time, right? Mm-hmm. They meet a villain and then they're spending a whole series trying to defeat that villain. And so they're squeezing it into 90 minutes, into 2 hours. And that's why we feel that way about the villains. And that's why the best villains that we love, besides Killmonger, has been developed. And then that's another thing. Killmonger shows us that we can care for a character and feel something for them before they did. But beyond that, any other villain that we truly love has been in multiple movies, right? Loki, Thanos. Yeah, those that's it, right?
I mean,
actually, no. I like Mysterio.
I was gonna say, yeah, Mysterio, but that's kind of my point. Like they focused a lot of time on Mysterio. They focused a decent amount of time on like Hela.
I see what you're saying. So yeah, so then you feel, but they don't focus time. They're like, let's just show what the heroes are doing, and then like, oh no, this magic guy is here. You got to stop him.
So that's why I'm saying just maybe add a little bit more, because I'm like, why is it? Because this like this is the shortest movie of Phase 4, and it's like, but why though? Like,
yeah, why? Also, he's definitely 5th year senior by now, right?
Yeah, I mean,
why is he here? If he's here, he should. I'm okay with him still being there, but like with Hawkeye, I wasn't tired of Hawkeye being there, because it was just as much Kate Bishop show, right? She was in that show, maybe even more than Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was her show. So then it was like,
it was her, yeah, I think it was her show more than it was
his show, right? So then him being there felt right? He's passing the torch, he's being phased out. I know these actors are tired. Versus like, honestly, even with Sam Wilson, like, okay, he had, Bucky there. I'm like, damn, Captain America wasn't there to help him at all. But then I gave it a pass because he was training with Captain America for like 4 years by this
Yeah, he
time,
was. He
right?
was.
All
And
right.
Buck, I mean,
So
Bucky's a super soldier too, so like he could help train him a little bit. Like he was giving Cap them hands and Winter Soldier.
he was giving it. I mean, he watched him every time. He beat him 100% of the time. He never lost. He never lost to Steve. I rewatched that on the play. I was like, damn, I forgot how good Winter Soldier was. Like we all talk about Civil War, but Winter Soldier is fire,
Yeah, because
and
he
he
could
gives
have
him that work the whole
he
time.
yeah, he could have killed him, but like he got out of that brainwashing at the end. Remember when he was punching him like you're my
He
mission?
was
Even though I was like, nah,
right.
it looked like he was riding him like you're my mission.
They're in love. They're in love
They
for
totally
sure.
love, but like
Because
speaking,
even Sam was like, "Give it up, bro."
yeah. But I mean, speaking of love, I will say like this movie. Notice that segue, but I was like, this movie made me fall in love with Jane Foster. Like out of
Uh,
all the movies, I was like, come on, Jane Foster. Like, who cares? Like, I don't care. Like, put Thor with Lady Sif. Like, I don't care about Natalie Portman in these movies, but this movie made me care about her.
let me
Like, I
tell you
loved
something
her as
about
the
Lady
mighty
Sif.
Thor.
Lady Sif is never gonna give her just due. I don't know what that woman did. I don't know what that woman did to Disney. I don't know what gripes Disney got with that actress. But Lady Sif is never gonna get her just due. At this point, she's just a joke. So
No, but
don't fear.
I was talking about in like phase like the second
Yeah.
movie.
Oh
But
yeah.
when
But
she was
by
actually
now,
when she actually had a role, but not like yeah, like what I'm saying. But now, like I'm like, no, I really like Jane Foster as the mighty Thor, and I wouldn't be upset if she showed up if like we got more of her.
I would. I'd be like, why you got this clown here? Because that's how she is on this. But speaking
You
of
ain't
love,
like
I always
you
gotta
ain't like
ask.
her.
No, no, and
No,
maybe because it's
not
like,
Sif. I mean Jane.
oh, I like Jane. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I like
I was
Jane.
talking.
She was
No, I
funny.
was talking about Jane, not Sif. No, Sif. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
care.
absolutely. But you should, right? Like Jane is as much of an excellent love interest to him as Sif, and we should like them equally. It should be split down the middle. But I want to meet the person who's like Sif over Jane. You know what I mean? Especially after this movie. But since we talk about love, this is the gayest Marvel movie. Is it gay enough?
It is the gayest Marvel movie, but
It
no, it's
is,
not.
right?
It's not gay.
Yeah, even at the top, even on the 10th top, it's not gay enough. And I
It's
feel
not
you
gay enough.
there. We can talk about Stranger Things later this week because I do want to talk about the gayness with you in Stranger Things and Will specifically because I really think that they really there's like 5 scenes where they're like this nigga gay.
Yeah.
So, but you said it wasn't gay enough, so I know your standards are high. They're not giving fellatio on screen. You like it's not
Exactly. Like I need to see like hand jobs and like
a
but
quick BJ.
yeah, but yeah, no spoilers, but yeah, this is the gayest of all the Marvel movies.
Absolutely, 100% the gayest.
We'll talk more about that when we do a spoiler review. But yeah,
Absolutely.
it wasn't gay enough for me though. So but what else? Because I'm like, there's not much we could really say. Is no spoil. Oh, Valkyrie. Like, I wish we did. I wish we got more Valkyrie in this movie. Like, she was in the entire movie, but she didn't really have like she felt like because it's almost like this movie was set up to be a trio: Thor, Mighty Thor, which is Jane, and then Valkyrie. But it was more Thor and Jane, and Valkyrie felt like the third wheel. Like they didn't really give her much to do.
Literally a scene with her just sitting there looking at them being
Yeah,
themselves.
just in the background, like, hey, I'm still here. And then when
I agree. I agree because it was like and not just that, but like she's the king of the Asgardians, and just as good of a fighter as her. And honestly, the best scenes included her. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I wish there was more development with Valkyrie. I think overall, I want to see more Valkyrie. So I fuck with that rhetoric. I agree.
but I will say out of that, like this had like the best, like every single action sequence I really enjoyed in this movie, especially like the final action sequence and the way it was shot, the way it looked, like it was incredible. Like so I had a lot of fun with the action, the music choices, the way this movie opened. Like there were a lot of, great moments
I'm really glad that like 80s rock is having its moment right now because 80s rock is fire. I love live music and I love when I can hear a drummer work. I don't know what it is. And a guitarist, electric guitar. So like I agree the music was fire. I think the
Like I
costuming,
was Shazamming because some of those songs I was like, I don't know these, but I'm Shazamming it right now. Like,
same thing.
yeah,
Yeah, and I thought the costume design for everyone throughout the entire like everyone looked excellent. No one I was like, like everyone looked really, really good. And I also love the idea of them all being like really made up, like full on, because they're supposed to be their best selves,
yeah.
right?
Like Jane Foster's makeup, like her makeup was great in this movie.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Because she's a god, right? She's a god now. So like she's supposed to look perfect. And they made sure.
They made
The
sure, yeah.
blonde wig, you know, could be better, but for a Marvel wig, it's definitely top tier.
No, but yeah, I mean they give white women good wigs, but when it comes to black, they're like Idris Elba and like Ragnarok or like or
Or what's his name?
I can't think of his
Cheetah
name.
Watel.
Chiwetel Ejiofor. There we go. And Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Matt. Like I'm like, come on, like y'all don't got no black people on set to help with these
Yo,
wigs.
but there are no
Straight
Africans out
straight
there.
straight out of the Tyler Perry wig.
Collection.
Yeah.
They also film in Atlanta, so they probably do
Yeah, they
film at his
right.
studio and
Yeah,
use his
I'm pretty sure
people.
they do.
But I will say that I found out there are no Africans out there. Like, we go to Harlem and get our hair braided and stuff. They don't really have that in LA. So like she would tell
But they could fly. They
Ejiofor
could
could have
fly them
got
out.
straight backs.
Yeah, I'm like
They
they
could
could fly
fly
these
him
people.
back.
Yeah, they could fly these people out. It's Disney, Marvel. They a multi-billion
Fly
dollar
out
company.
auntie to do
Yeah,
somebody.
like they got money. Like yo,
They need to be in the union. I think that's something else too. The stylists for these movies have to be in the union, and they're all white. And white people aren't learning how to do our hair. That's why a lot of black actors, including Misty Knight, Simone, what's her last name?
Simone Missick.
Missick. I was gonna say Disick. Missick. They came to set with their hair done every day.
Yeah, and it's sad that you have to do that as a black actor. Like you got to do your own makeup, you got to do your own hair because these white, like you could be go to school for makeup and hair design as a white person and never have to learn how to do black or Indian or any other hair other than white people. You could go to school to be a history teacher, never have to learn black history, and it's like, what kind of shit is this? What kind of
But
shit is this?
it'd be the opposite, and not just our hair, right? Also, like
Yeah, that's why I said like
very
Indian. That's why I
fine
said like
Asian hair.
Indian. Yeah.
Yeah, ours is definitely the most complex, right? Like I'm sure they could figure out the finer hair, but you're right. A black stylist has to know both. She won't survive if she can't comb that oily shit. But it's like if you can't braid, you can't cornrow, you don't know how to excuse my edges, but if you can't slick these, why are you here?
Yeah. But her makeup was good. But yeah, overall, like I would say I really enjoyed this movie. Like I said, it was my favorite movie of this year and my second favorite of the MCU. Naked Thor, which is in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. I'm like, I didn't even have to see the rest of the movie at that point. Like,
I will say this.
even though I was like, show the front.
And the reaction, I felt like it was fired. I will say this to everyone so they know that scene where Valkyrie is licking her sword that went viral is not in the movie. So let me go ahead and set that expectation for y'all. That was just in the trailer. I
I was like,
didn't
I don't
even
even
watch
know.
the
Yeah, I was
trailer
like, I don't
and
even know
seen it
that. Yeah.
because it was all over TikTok. It was all over Twitter, and it was like it looked like they were in the middle of a fight, and she looks her sword. It's fire. It didn't make it into the movie, so sorry to y'all. I know a lot of people were excited to like see that whole thing, and I think that's also plays to what we were saying about Valkyrie not really being highlighted the way she should have.
Yeah, especially like you mentioned, she's the king of Asgard. We should have gotten way more
Absolutely.
of her.
Um, so what would you score this? Let's get your ratings up. What's your rating?
I would say for me, I would give Thor Love and Thunder a high hit for me.
A high hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been torn for like 3.5 to 4 out of 5 Frankie Flames. I'm gonna go 3.5.
Three and a half.
To me, it's like you want to chill at home, or I would even go to the theater. You're gonna laugh the entire time, especially if you're in a group. It's funny, but is it good?
So I mean, a 3.5. That's still a that's like a low hit in my ratings.
Right. It's a hit. Like it's definitely something worth to watch. But like, are you going to be as entertained as No Way Home? No. Or Iron Man or something? No. But like, you will be entertained.
But you definitely,
you'll
yeah,
laugh the entire time.
you'll definitely laugh, yeah. And they do introduce, even though it's still self-contained, they still introduce some elements into this movie that will hopefully play into the greater Marvel cosmology. And then also the two, obviously stay for the movie. It's a Marvel movie. The two post-credit scenes, I think are great. Like, unlike a lot of Marvel movies where it's like one post-credit scene would be great, but then the second one is just like whatever. I like both post-credit scenes in this movie. So yeah,
I agree.
Stay for the end of that. And yeah, we're gonna come back and do a spoiler review. Who knows when? We also got to do Stranger Things.
I definitely I want to talk about how gay Stranger Things.
We got to do volume 2 because Frankie wasn't around for when we went live for volume 1, so we got to get her on for volume 2. So apparently I got to set a schedule for her. Like I got to
you put it on my book. I was there. So when you put it on the books, I be there on time.
Yeah, and then I wasn't. I was asleep.
Look at you.
I woke up like because I sat for us to record at 11. I woke up at 11. I was like, fuck. I was like, Frankie.
And I was like, yeah, bro, I'm here.
But anyway, so yeah, make sure you hit the like button. Frankie, one more time, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me at Fantastic Frankey on all platforms except for Twitter. You can find me there at Fanboy Fighter. A lot of stuff coming out, reviews, all that fun stuff. So very excited.
So yeah, make sure if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, interact for the All Gay Rhythm to get this video out there. I'm almost at 6,000 subscribers, guys. So let's continue to boost this train. So share the video, tell your friends, families, and neighbors about the channel. Hit the bell notification button so when we do go live to talk volume 2 of Stranger Things, you are aware of that. And with that, we are out. Be on the lookout for the live of Thor coming out maybe Monday. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna hold them to. I'm not. We'll figure it out. So yeah, hit the bell notification button, and that's it. Peace.